Hey everyone, it's Jyske Bank. Mortgage rates have dropped to historic lows on 8 separate occasions here in 2020, begging many people to ask the following question: will there be a 0% mortgage interest rate here in the United States of America? This is an important question to ask because many people are trying to find their way into home ownership here in the United States, and a 0% interest rate could be an effective vehicle that opens up that opportunity to more people. So what I want to do in this video is look at the history of mortgage rates here in the United States, where we stand right now, and compare ourselves around the world to different countries who've experienced 0% interest rates on their mortgages, so that way you and I can make effective decisions moving forward if you want to pursue home ownership or some other avenue for your life. So let's jump into it right now. As previously mentioned, mortgage rates have dropped to historic lows thanks in large part to the actions taken by the Federal Reserve. And recently, the chief deputy economist for Freddie Mac looked historically and said that back after the 2008 Great Recession, 4 out of 5 years following that, home loan interest rates, mortgages, actually decreased over time. So we're seeing right now in the midst of our recession a decrease in interest rates related to mortgages. So what he is portending, or what he is forecasting, is that we might see further decreases as it relates to mortgages here in the United States. As of right now, the average interest rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage is 2.96% here in the United States of America. That is very low and very appealing to individuals who might actually want to take out a loan to purchase a home. As it relates to the average 15-year fixed rate mortgage here in the United States, the average right now is 2.46%. Once again, very low and very appealing to those who might be pursuing something along these lines. Now, this is an important decision for everyone to take into consideration when they're making a purchase that is probably the largest one they will ever make. And you might be sitting right now and wondering, is this interest rate going to go lower, which would then make it more attractive for you to potentially purchase a home? And that's where I want to look at right now. Historically, we've seen these interest rates reduced before after recessions like we saw in 2008, and right now we're seeing a similar trend transpire. Based off of this historical data, we have to ask ourselves, is a 0% interest rate even possible here in the United States? And if you look again at the chief deputy economist for the Freddie Mac, which is a federal branch of home loans that you might have interacted with personally here in the United States, he is saying that forecasting what could happen with interest rates is very difficult. And this is coming from someone who has much experience in this sector of the economy. But what we can look at is what has happened throughout the world in certain countries that have actually experienced 0% interest rates and how they compare to what we're doing here in the United States. For example, there's actually a bank in Denmark right now offering a 10-year fixed rate mortgage called Jyske Bank, and that is something that you're seeing happening right now. Furthermore, there's a bank in Finland called Nordea Bank, which is offering a 20-year fixed rate 0% interest mortgage. Now, this is a very interesting thing for us to be aware of because there are obviously distinctions from an economic perspective between what's happening overseas versus what is happening here in the United States, but you might beg the question of how did they get to 0% interest rate? And it is as follows. What happens with the central banks that are operating in those different countries, how they are allocating finances in a similar manner to the Federal Reserve, they actually are operating with what are called negative interest rates. And those negative interest rates then allow the banks to still make percentage on the mortgages that they offer to consumers. Therefore, if they received a negative interest rate from their central bank, that money then goes to the bank itself, who then issues the loan at a 0%, which is still a couple percentage points higher than how they've received the money initially. So it still works out in their favor, but it appears as though if we were to experience a 0% interest rate here in the United States, that would necessitate negative interest rates from the Federal Reserve. On that note, the central bank in Denmark has been operating with negative interest rates for 5 years, up until it received the opportunity for consumers to obtain 0% interest rates for mortgages. Now, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has been relatively clear over this last couple of months that we should not expect to see 0% interest rate mortgages because we're not going to see negative interest rates. So although right now we are experiencing historically low interest rates for a myriad of products that you can purchase in society right now, it appears as though a 0% mortgage might not be feasible at this given time. One thing to bear in mind though is that none of us can accurately predict the future when it comes to this. No one saw this pandemic coming, no one saw these historically low interest rates coming, so what should you do now? Should you wait out and expect there to be a 0% interest rate at a later time which might afford you the opportunity to purchase a home? That is a question for you to consider right now, but I would suggest as you are looking into potentially going into home ownership and potentially taking out a loan on the largest purchase of your life, you want to do all of the research necessary. You want to take all of the time necessary to make sure that if you're going to jump into this type of situation, that you have all of your ducks in a row, meaning that you have the ability to put down at least 20% as a down payment for your home, that you are not purchasing a home that is anywhere beyond 25% on a monthly basis of what you are actually having as your income, because you do not want your home to then become a big weight on your life. You don't want your home to become a curse on your life. You want your home to be a blessing. So if you end up purchasing a home, that can be a great situation for you. It also could be a poor situation for you if you do the wrong thing and purchase something well beyond your means. So with all of that being said, I would just strongly recommend to take your time, investigate these opportunities. If you are in a strong financial position right now, these interest rates we are experiencing are quite good, because when you adjust for inflation and think if you take out a 30-year fixed rate mortgage or even a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, if you can do that, then you're going to find adjusting for inflation, if you're below 3%, that's actually very appealing. If you have to wait all the way down to 0%, I get it, that would be preferable, but it might not be as likely. So just take that into consideration. I remember when I purchased my first condo when I was 18 years old, I got a 5.25% interest rate. At that time, I thought that was amazing. Looking back, if I could have been in the situation right now to get a 2.5% or a 3% interest rate relative to what I got back then, that would have saved me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars over the lifetime of that mortgage. So my encouragement to you, take your time, do your research, and if you are in a position right now where you are financially strong, have the ability to pay that mortgage over time, or if you're looking at doing something different where you purchase a duplex and can allow people to, rent out the other side or rent out a room in your house or something to that extent to make it more financially feasible, just do what is going to be best for you, but take your time, be wise, and make sure you're in a strong foothold now so you don't bite off more than you can chew. That way it doesn't position you negatively in the future. With all that being said, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. If you wouldn't mind, please like the video. That would really help the channel out for the YouTube algorithm, help push this message to other people who might need to hear an encouraging message like this. In addition, if you have any questions or comments, please comment down below. I'd love to interact with you, answer any questions you have, do any research on your behalf so that you can make well-informed decisions. In addition, if you wouldn't mind, please subscribe to the channel. That would actually mean a lot to myself personally, as I do a lot to be able to put into this channel that hopefully makes a positive impact in your life by encouraging all of us to lead lives of meaning and purpose, all while maintaining balance and moderation. And if you do subscribe to the channel, please tap the notification bell. That will notify you every time I post a video, which I do on a weekly basis. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching the video today. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of your day. Talk to you next time.